Somalians are not blacks. Somalians are not brown. Look at me. I am mitchily brown. I'm pitchily brown. I'm pitch. They have a message for their president, the honorable sir. The honorable sir, the real orange man. They have a message for their president. Somalians. Somalians have seen the reward and the use of being black. Somalians have seen every single beautiful things that actually come with blacks. That is why I keep telling you, words are like egg. The moment they drop, you can't amend them together. Just like when you have raw eggs in your hand, and the moment the egg just fall, it automatically just break. That is how words are. But a lot of people do not know how to curtail their words. They think they have all of the freedom and everything. But anyways, that's it. Just listen to what they have. Credit belongs to the original creator. My name is Sonia. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. And credit belongs to the original creator of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. With that being said, let's go watch. And I'll be back with commentaries.
What would you say to the president if he were standing here right now?
Mr. President, we campaign for you. We have hope in you. We see hope in you. Please differentiate between good, bad, and evil.
That's a Somali immigrant who voted for President Trump in 2024, but now Trump is demonizing Somalis in America, specifically here in Minnesota.
I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you, okay? Somebody would say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care. I don't want them in our country. We're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country.
I got 5 children. My children are no garbage. I campaigned for the president in 2024. I actually went out and we reached 50 million people endorsing Trump 7 days before the election.
What drew you to the president?
Because we believed he was an agent of chaos. We couldn't afford anything back then. There was a fentanyl crisis. There was an issue of affordability. The living standards went down. Crime issues. These are 5 very important things to us. And we believe that Trump will be the solution to it. I've been a Republican for over 25 years. I'm not going to stop being a Republican. But what I do know is for a fact is we're getting killed out here because people are saying, we told you so.
He is president of America. We have to respect him.
Shukriya Bashike and her husband own a store in downtown Lewiston. She raised 8 children, all now with college degrees, and still works 7 days a week.
We order, we bring any kind.
She supports the president, but not his blanket statements about her home country and fellow citizens.
Some people good, some people no good. But 90% is very good people. They like to follow the rule. They work hard. They work day and night.
A lot of Muslim people and a lot of Somali people voted for him. So he represents us. And now he's targeting us.
Do you know what the predominant religion is in Somalia? Take a guess. Islam. Over 99% of the population. You guessed it.
Somalis are not terrorizing this nation. We are helping it thrive. Somalis have always seen themselves as a fabric of this nation.
Are you sure about that, Ilhan Omar? You want to retract that statement? Nope. All right, let's pull up some facts, shall we? Let's pull up some more. Right. Helping America thrive. Here's where my problem lies. Ilhan Omar is always talking negatively about America, the country that she resides in, and she's always speaking highly about Somalia. You know, the country that she won't go back to. It's amazing how much high esteem Somalia gets when it's coming out of her mouth, just speaking about it, when in actuality, here are the facts about Somalia. So for starters, United States listed Somalia as a level 4 risk. It's the highest level of advisory. Do not travel there. They're saying it's high crimes, high terrorism, don't forget kidnapping and piracy. Also, forgive me for my pronunciation, but Al-Shabaab conducts terrorism attacks, bombings in Mogadishu. So that's Somalia. Organized crime is very prevalent. It's a hub for human trafficking, illicit network. Oh yeah, and we can't forget in Somalia, there's weak governance. They have poor law enforcement, and also some areas are heavily restricted and governed by Sharia law. Human trafficking, arms trafficking, sexual violence, piracy. Shall I go on? And it is a fact, not an opinion or a feeling. It is an objective fact. It's one of the most dangerous countries in the entire world. Obviously, not all Somalis are pirates or all these other criminals, right? But when you have a large portion of people doing something and you bring that over to another place, chances are it's going to continue. Never in the history of ever have I seen a third world country come to a first world country and the first world country get better and improve when they don't assimilate, which we see so often within their religion. And people will call me Islamophobic. That word is fake. It's made up by Muslim Brotherhood, first and foremost, and it's created to just deflect and to not take accountability for whenever they do mess up. When you break down Islam, yes, people should definitely be afraid of Islam. They should be afraid of Sharia law coming to America, to the Western nations. They should definitely be afraid of women losing their rights, the right to vote, having half a brain in their religion. Mind you, my father is Muslim, okay? I grew up in an Islamic home. I had the hijab. I went to the mosques. They separated the women from the men. The girls could not even shake men's hands. They were considered less than. I'm a lefty. I'm left-handed, right? And guess what? This is considered an unclean hand. My own father would try to force me to use this hand to eat and write with. So I don't care about white liberals, people coming, Muslims coming to me, telling me that it's Islamophobic to stand up for women, to say we don't want Sharia law in Western nations, we don't want crimes, we don't want oppression to come to our countries. If you guys love your country so much, go back to those countries. Stop bringing your values and beliefs to another country and expecting other people to conform to them. And last thing I'll address regarding President Trump, I would have used a different choice of words. However, he had a point. As any rational human being would be able to see, Somalia is definitely a dangerous country. Here's the ironic part. So we have celebrities, right? And we have Tim Waltz denouncing President Trump's remarks about calling Ilhan Omar garbage and Somalia garbage, right? Did they denounce when Biden called millions of Trump supporters garbage, though?
Puerto Rico, where I'm in my home state of Delaware, they're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is just supporters.
Yeah, it's giving selective outrage, right? If it doesn't fit their narrative or their agenda, they're denouncing, they're upset, they're gonna say it's bad, but you know, if it's coming from Trump, evil. It's evil. But if it's coming from Biden or anyone that's on their side, it's permissible. The hypocrisy. That's all I'm saying. All right? Alrighty.
Somalis are being hunted in Minnesota. Ethnic groups are being hunted in Dearborn, Michigan by ICE. They are deporting people. They're dragging them out of court. Somalis are scared to go outside of their homes, to go to work, to go about their daily lives. And I would just like to say to them and all of those people that are hurting, I told you so. I told you so. We told you so. You thought that because you don't like some of the things that the Democrats espouse or stand for, that you were going to vote Republican. The Republican Party has no place for minorities. It never has been. It never will be in the modern era. Okay? The same person that you supported and gave to and said, never Kamala, Donald Trump, his departments are now hunting you to deport you and your family members. And let me tell you something. I don't feel bad for you, and here's why. I've heard you say, oh, we're not black, we're Somali. Well, we are black. And we have been building a reputation and wealth in this country for a long time. There's 44 million of us that know how to navigate the system. We have power politically. We have power in almost all of the major industries in this country. And we told you guys how to vote. I don't agree with all of the things that the Democrats do and say. America is not about that when you vote. America is about protecting you, your family, and your community. If you had voted Democratic, your Somali brothers and sisters would not be getting drug out by their foreheads in courts. You would not be getting hunted right now. Now, this goes for you guys as a lesson to learn how to vote in 2028, 2026, and beyond. Now, if you keep voting Republican, they're going to keep doing this to you. That's just the reality of it. And you see, nobody is coming to be your ally and defend you. Because guess what? You told us go F off, and you told never Kamala, anybody but Kamala. You got who you wanted. Now pay the price.
Minnesota, somehow, we're back here again. Another preventable crime, another victim who never should have crossed paths with a predator who was known, convicted, and documented, and yet was free to walk the streets. Let's talk about Abdimat Bill Muhammad, a man with multiple rape convictions on his record, including a child case from 2017 and another in 2024. No, not allegations, convictions. And instead of prison, he got probation. Probation. For a serial rapist. So Minnesota lets him back out, and what happens next? Exactly what any sane person would expect. He kidnaps and rapes another woman at a hotel. Days-long assault. Confinement. Took her phone, forced her over and over, and all because a man with a proven record of violence was given a second chance he never earned. Full nightmare scenario. Here's the truth about Minnesota's judicial system. This isn't just one bad call. This is a systemic failure. A failure of judgment, a failure of priorities, and the failures that put this innocent woman directly in harm's way. We talk a lot about second chances, right? But second chances aren't supposed to come at the expense of public safety. They're not supposed to override a violent pattern. They're not supposed to gamble with somebody else's life. This is what happens when accountability gets swallowed by politics. And soft on crime becomes a philosophy instead of a warning label. And here's the part that should bother everybody. This time, we heard about it. How many cases don't make the headlines? How many victims are out there silently suffering because of the consequences of a state's actions? If we're serious about protecting people, women, kids, communities, this cannot continue to happen. Serial offenders don't reform because a judge offers them probation. Patterns don't magically stop because we want to believe the best in people. Real public safety requires real consequences, real accountability. Because every time the system chooses leniency over logic, someone else pays the price. This wasn't fate, this was failure, and it should never happen again.
So I've watched a lot of interviews with Somalians, and at this point, I'm fairly convinced that they are possibly the most arrogant people who've ever existed on the entire planet. But they're almost a little too arrogant. They say things that just don't naturally roll off the tongue, like this lady.
Yeah. It feels home. I keep telling, I used to say in 2001, whether you like it or not, we're here to stay. So the sooner you get used to us, the sooner we'll all get along. And, suck it up, just what? We're here. We're Americans just like you.
The sooner you get used to us, the sooner we'll all get along. That's the sort of thing you're told as a kid when you're forced to be around somebody you don't want to be around at all. It's not the sort of thing you say to people whose country is giving you a new home. And naturally, this comes into play with Ilhan Omar. Here she is after the assassination of Charlie Kirk, stating that his legacy as an American should be in the dustbin of history, but she should be in Congress.
But I am not going to sit here and be judged for not wanting to honor any legacy this man has left behind. That should be in the dustbin of history, and we should hopefully move on and forget the hate that he spewed every single day.
And as bad as that is, it's not as bad as this new clip of Ilhan Omar.
And I want to underscore the importance of using every single leverage that we have at our arsenal, because we do have a lot of leverage. We need to make sure that those who are collaborating with the authoritarian regime pay a costly price.
Should pay a costly price? I'm sorry. This woman from Somalia who married her brother is stating that anybody who's collaborating with the democratically elected Trump administration here in the United States should pay a costly price. There's just too much arrogance across the board. It's like they've got assurances that they're going to be okay no matter what they do. I'm starting to wonder if these people aren't just seriously shock troops imported by the globalists, who by definition think that our country needed to be refounded, that it was always wrong, and that it needs to be completely remade. And then all Americans who don't conform to that new ideal need to be in the dustbin of history. Because this has been a very long-standing, slow burn color revolution. It's been a coup organized around this new dogma of obsessions with bigotry. Since Trump was elected, they've been throwing Ilhan Omar out front a lot. It's like they're using her for bait. But now she's talking about paying a price. How anybody who, quote unquote, collaborated with our elected administration. And you just got to start worrying when somebody like Ilhan Omar is talking about consequences. That her and her gang of Somalians, who seem not worried at all, are talking about leveraging their power to bring about consequences for Americans for electing our own government.
Common sense approach. I did a video and about the Somalian people of America up there in Minnesota. And in that video, I gave him some props. I threw him a bone. I said, hey, I know they stealing, but at least they took the money and attempted to build rather than destroy. They could have became a physical headache to the rest of the American people with that money that they were stealing. But they chose to take that money and build up themselves and their community. And so I threw them a bone on that. I said, hell, everybody doing something or has done it. Okay? From selling narcotics in this country, taking advantage of the people, and so forth. The crooked politicians, don't get me started. Everybody has participated. And so they just another leaf on the tree. waiting to fall and be exposed. And so I said, hey, at least they took their portion of the American pie and attempted to build rather than destroy. So I threw him a bone. And this brother right here, he threw a comment in that video. And he said, the land of Minnesota is ours. It was given to us by God, and no one can take it from us. He even threw his photo up there. Now, I want you to take a look at this brother, because it looks like, and I could be wrong, that he practiced of the Jewish faith, that he would consider himself to be Jewish Somalian. He practiced under the Jewish faith, but he's also Somalian. Okay? And he said Minnesota is theirs. It was given to them by God. Now, it's very interesting because majority of Somalians, especially those in the Twin Cities of Minnesota, they practice under the Islamic faith. You know? And this guy looks like he's going up under the Jewish. And so no matter which way you go, I guess they feel like it was given to them by God. That's very interesting. But I could say that God could have motivated you and your people to want more out of life. I could say that God showed you a path. But to get to America and get to a place and just forget about the people who opened up their arms and their hearts to the Somalian people when you first came in waves, it's not godlike. To then not only disregard what those good people of Minnesota did for the Somalian people, for you to turn around and then start saying disrespectful things about the country and about those people. Because let's be honest, when you speaking about black Americans, like you did in one of your videos, you said black Americans. You let it be known that you were speaking about the black Americans. And so I have to assume when you speaking about Americans, when you say Americans, that you mean white people, white Americans, European Americans. I will have to take it that way. This is called common sense approach here. I will have to take it that way. And so when you start saying that and all this anti-American talk, you're really speaking down on the same people, you know, the English American who allowed you into the country. Because let's be honest and fair. I have to be honest and fair. This is common sense approach. I have to be honest and fair. The black Americans didn't let you in. We didn't give you the blueprint because they ain't even give it to us. They gave y'all a brochure on how to get banking and housing and everything. They try to hide it from us and give it to a chosen few, gatekeepers. But that's another video. So let's be honest here. Black Americans didn't let you in. That means that it was the European American who let you in and set you up in Minnesota and gave you the brochure on what to do. So when you speak about and you saying like, you know, these anti-American comments that y'all saying now, oh dear short memory, you speaking about the same ones who let you in the country, who gave you a safe place. And some instance put you over other Americans who have been here and people fought in every war in this country. And so for you to come here now and say God gave us this and no one can take it away, it shows your true colors. And it makes me say, what is this people, the Somalian people of America really planning to do? What are they really on? Because the last time, I heard it many times through history, but the last time I heard of a group of people saying that this land was theirs and they went and took it and God gave it to them, they're trying to turn the other people who also stayed there, they whole little place into a parking lot right now. And I don't have to say, well, you should know. You practice. So when people like that start saying this is ours and no, okay, have your people fought in any wars? America is ran off of guns and butter. Okay? And I ain't talking about what they was talking about in Baby Boy. I'm going to make a video and I'm going to explain it. America is ran off of guns and butter. Have your people participate in any wars? Have you signed up and put that suit on? That give you solid ground. And so for you to come on, for the Somalian people to come on here and to feel like this is something that God gave them and no one can take it. That you guys really, really worked and earned it while at the same time being thieves. So God gave you something. Why do you have to steal it? This common sense approach. I'm out.
Hey, so correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think this went so well, but give me your opinion. This is what the Somalis said in Minnesota before the election.
We love our brothers and sisters who are Democrats, but you left us. And because the left left us, join the right, vote for Trump, 2024.
Now, before you say not all Somalis in Minnesota felt this way, and they voted in the opposite direction. Now, I say to that, you may be correct. However, I didn't see a counter narrative. I didn't see a counter protest. I didn't see a counter press conference that said, these people are fools. So when you leave information unchallenged, what will happen is some of the people who are in that community will believe that the people who were on this side, on the Donald Trump side, were right. And the result is
Somalians ripped off that state for billions of dollars, billions, every year, billions of dollars, and they contribute nothing. The welfare is like 88%. They contribute nothing. I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you. Okay? Somebody would say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care. I don't want them in our country. Their country's no good for a reason. Their country stinks, and we don't want them in our country.
Trump and the base that is attacking our community. We understand that you are here to divide us, to create fear amongst us, and to selectively target the blackest immigrant and Muslim community in this great state. President Trump has had a history of targeting black people long before he ever ran for any office. And we know that the identity of who we are is part of the attack, and also as being Muslims and being immigrants. In fact, we know in our community we have some of the smallest number of undocumented Somali Americans. Majority of us are U.S. citizens, even a majority of even that born in the United States. What we see today that's happening in Minneapolis is the authoritarian nature of this government and acting as a third world nation by targeting lawful U.S. citizens. We should be ashamed of that. This is a moment for all of us. And in this moment, we ask for everyone to show their humanity and to show love in the face of hate. And I know this moment will pass, but history will remind us of what we did in this moment.
And Trump is saying that he's going to deport every Somalian back to their country. And the reason being that he said that in Minnesota, there are more than 60,000 Somalians in that place. And they don't do anything for a living. They are not impacting the country positively. They are not doctors, they are not lawyers, they are not engineers, they are not into tech. They come in and then they feed on taxpayers' money. Now, if you're in America and then you are unable to get a job or you do not have a job for a period of time, the government would pay you. The government will support you, so that you can see money to eat. But then the president said that he noticed a pattern. He noticed that these people don't even work at all. They wait for other people to work, to pay tax. Then they wait for them to be paid by the government, that is how they eat, and that's how they send money back to their countries, so that their loved ones can eat. And it's like, that's like a parasitic way of living. Like, you're not doing anything for this country, and yet you are demanding. Now, the Somalians living in the US have called on the US government to make Sharia law, this Muslim law. You know that most of the Somalians, they are Muslims, that they should make Sharia law legal in the US. That's what they want. They don't want the US law. And the president is like, I don't understand these people. Like, you are not doing anything to help the country, yet you are demanding Sharia law. And it's like, see, all of you need to go back to your country, because if your country was so good, you will not come here. Now, this is a list of the 10 countries in Africa with the worst innovations and infrastructures. Now, Somalia is number 2 of countries that civilization is far from it. Now, imagine how underdeveloped Nigeria is, and we did not make it top 10 in this list. Then imagine that Somalia is number 2. Just think about how backward they are. And yet you went to that country, you went to this country because it is civilized, because they can offer more to you. And then you are there, you're not offering anything to that country, yet you are still demanding. Now, the congresswoman, Ilhan Omar, is saying that, Somalians are not going anywhere, that this is their country, and they'll fight for it. And Job is like, hey, see this one that is talking, it's because you don't want to open your book. This woman entered the US pretending that her brother is her husband. She came in the form of, I'm married to this person because her brother was there before her. But she pretended that her brother is her husband, which is a crime. And if they want to even judge her based on that, it's going to be a different issue. So the presidency, President Trump is like, don't worry, your old book, we go open your old book. So I don't know what's your take on this, but I feel like if you're going to another country that is doing well, go there and do something positively to help the country. You saw the country that is civilized, that's why you came in. So why you won't come now, won't be burden, won't be load to that country? You get? And then people are already like, but there are people that are already citizens of the country, what will happen to them? See, there's a difference between citizenship by birth and citizenship by naturalization. If you go to a country and after living there for some years, they grant you citizenship, my dear, it is a privilege, it's not your right. Do you know that in Nigeria, after living here for how many years, it depends, they feel still give you citizenship. So US and all this UK where they give citizenship, say you go, if you go outside country, if you go born, you're picking up a citizen, or if you live here for so years, they are no fools. And don't take them for granted. And the fact that they gave you citizenship by their naturalization doesn't mean that they cannot take it from you, depending on the circumstances. So these Somalians, they are like, we came here and we are not citizenship, you guys cannot do anything to us. Do you really know the law? They can still take it back from you, depending on the situation surrounding it. Especially if your citizenship is by naturalization, the one that will be hard if it is citizenship by birth. But if it is by naturalization, my dear, they can take it back from you. So I feel like Somalians, you guys should do better. I think you guys should even plead with the presidency. I'll be like, okay, we'll do better. We'll work better. We'll go to school, and become something like that. It's not for you guys to be running your mouth. Or better still, go back to your country. You're in the developed country. The congresswoman that is talking. If you go back to your country, women don't even have a say in Somalia. So go back to Somalia, where your daughter will be forced to get married at 9 years old. Because this year in Somalia, they banned child marriage. Full-grown men came out to protest that why would they ban child marriage when it is allowed by Quran, when it is allowed by Sharia law, and they had to bring back child marriage. So if you know that America is not conducive for you, go back to Somalia.
When people heard Trump's disgusting comment about the Somali community, it felt like a punch. It wasn't a slip of the tongue. It wasn't an attack on the entire community. And it exposed something deeper about the secular system. The Constitution claims to reject racism and hate speech. Yet, when the president targets people like that, the institutions barely move. No real consequences. No protection for those who are attacked. I'll tell you something. In the Islamic system, that kind of behavior is dealt with immediately. The Qadi Mazalim, the judge responsible for holding the ruler to account, steps in at once. The Khalif is reprimanded and ordered to stop. If he continues, he is removed because he has broken his contract with the people. At that point, the allegiance is no longer valid. Leadership only stands if justice stands. The contrast is stark. The secular system allows leaders to attack their own people without any consequences. The Islamic system treats it as a serious betrayal of trust. That difference is why many feel the Western model is failing, and they are seeking an alternative system that actually protects the dignity of everyone it governs, regardless of their color or religion. If you like this video, please share and subscribe to our channel. That would really help. Thank you.
If you're watching this time, put your hands on your head, especially as Somalians. Repeat after me. and say, Father Lord, just repeat after me. Say, Father Lord, may I not vote. May I not vote for the person that will destroy me. Because there is nothing as sad and as bad as voting for the person that is actually your enemy. For the person that will never like you, you have been pouring. See, just imagine you like someone and this person never have any atom of like or love for you. But you so much like this person and you can do any single thing. It's so painful. That's the stage where Somalians are right now. When they came on board and they were shouting, Somalians are not black, we are mutually browned. Look at my skin. We eat Arab food. We do Arab things. Then I came back again. Then I started saying that some part of the US, it's theirs and it has been promised to them 3,000 to 4,000 years ago. And I was like, And these promises we didn't see. Minnesota is promised to you people and we didn't see it. Where was the promise made? And now the orange man has sat down and be like, they voted for me. Yeah, I understand and I know that. But if I leave these people the way they are going, they're not only going to destroy this country, but they are going to make sure they take every part of this country. It's not my words. I didn't say it. That is why I keep saying, ask for people that are educated if you don't know things. If I don't know things and I go into places, I ask question. How is this being done? What do you think I can do? I personally love to ask questions. Because I know that at the end of the day, I will be the one to be affected if I eventually pick the wrong tools or eventually pick the wrong things. But that is what a lot of people do not understand. This should be a lesson to every single person living in the US except for Black Americans. That the fact that you voted this person does not make you a king or a queen before them. Because the same thing Mexico did and now they were crying up and down. Somalians have come different ways to claim that they have a lot of resources. They work so hard. They work so hard for the country of America. But I don't know why it is so difficult for them to now go back to their country and put in the hard work in their country. I don't know why it's becoming hard for them. Because I was thinking since they have all of the capacity, the energy to do all of this work, they can actually take it to their country, do this work and invest in their country. But they are still going back and forth. Is it that Omar is saying this one today, on that one is saying on that one tomorrow? And I love the fact that Black Americans are quiet. Black Americans are quiet because it is not their business. It is not their problem. It is your problem. Deal with it. The time where Black Americans were supposed to talk and advocate, that time is over. That was when these people came up to be like, we are not blacks. And now, that same seed they sow, they are reaping it. They are reaping it. And I can tell you for a whole fact, there is nothing that pisses me off with these Somalians more than the fact that they have this child marriage nonsense. There is nothing that pisses me off more than the fact that in Somalia, young girls are married, children being pregnant for old men. And yes, it's the law, it's a tradition. But they have to go to another person's country and say they are putting in hard work. Now they are saying Minnesota has been promised to them. Nobody care about the girl child story. Nobody care about what happened. The only thing they care about is how we can just survive America and enjoy America. Enjoy America. Karma is catching up with each and every one of you, especially for the evildoers. Because I'm not going to say that Somalians do not have good people. Out of But 99% of Somalians, I don't want to talk. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. Credit belongs to the original creator of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. And yes, guys, with no further ado, I do like I always say in my videos, I'm going to be simple, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Let me know your honest opinion in the comment section. I would really love to hear from you. Somalians, well done. Welcome to America.